So, how did you end up as Catwoman?
Just lucky, I guess. I think it had a lot to do with dance, ballet, the kind of physicalization of this marvelous concept of outrageousness. I mean, the cameras, they took the cameras and, of course, they tilted them, and that was really an idea that was stolen from the comic books itself. The director did that. And then color had just come in kind of around a little bit before 1966, and that was a newish thing. And then they were allowed to not just have color, but a vibrant color that just be piercing up from the screen. So it was a heady experience.
And were you able to capitalize on that?
Yeah, but you know what? I finally, after they asked me to do more than the first show, I adopted some cats because I thought I'd better learn cat language because cats move and they behave in a way that you got to take it seriously.
What's your relationship like with the other Catwoman that played her on the series?
I love them. I think you can't do it enough times. It's like singing Aida, or like, everyone does it differently. Everyone has a different point of view, and the more the merrier. It's a thrill to think that this part will be part of our language of theater for decades, 100 years from now, for sure. I'd like to be around to see what the next new person will do with it.
I think that's coming up in the new movie.
Right. How'd you like my idea of grooming Donald Trump?
He could use it.
I think it's funny.
Do you think that Catwoman is like the most glamorous of all the comic book villainesses?
I think that, Joan Collins did this. There were a number of really gorgeous women in the show. So, kinda. But the great thing that she had was this personality, because in the 50s, long before your time, we women had to be nice girls. And that's good. It's also kind of boring if you're just good all the time. You're having a good time. That's the tiniest notebook I've ever seen. What have you got in there? Come here, show me that thing. Good thing I can't read it.
Did you say that you made your ears?
Actually, these came from Paris, but they couldn't find them in Paris. And so I looked around and I found some friends, and they said, "Oh, I could do that for you." And I just think it's just next time I come out, I'm going to have it made in the mask.
That would be great.
Don't you think that'd be seductive?
Very. I'm Anna from the LA radio show Geek World.
Oh, really?
So you always played the part of Catwoman in such a sultry way. Did you ever get into trouble because of how sexy it came off?
It's funny, you don't think about sex when it happens. No, really, and this goes with sex too, you just have a good time. I mean, what can go wrong? Think about it. As a matter of fact, the more it goes wrong, the righter it is. I mean, just think about it. And that's an absolute truth when it comes to comedy. You want to fall over the furniture, right? You want someone to say the wrong words
So, you played it as comedy when the
No.
show...
This you play very straight.
Okay.
The straighter you play something that's camp, you play it straight but with timing. You follow me? In other words, you have to wait for the audience to laugh. And then whatever you say, it turns into something else. And then the audience takes you with it. I mean, you listen to the people in the audience today. Were you in the audience?
No! Sorry!
Okay. Well, it's high count.
Yeah?
When you were doing the show, did you think that it would have the longevity that it has today? Everybody has grown up and watched Batman for the last 45 years. Did you think it was going to last like that?
You know, that's the most often asked question. And when you're doing something, you're so involved in yourself and what you're supposed to do as part of the whole that you don't really see the whole. But it doesn't take too long to actually realize that you're in a classic of some kind. I did Seven Brides for Seven Brothers, and it was a whale of a good time. Just the rehearsal part, which was 5 weeks before the camera even started turning on its first day. We had 5 weeks of rehearsal. There were a lot of dance sequences, but we knew something was happening was good, yes.
Can you tell us about one of your favorite moments shooting Batman?
Oh, yes. My favorite moment, I think it was in the second sequence, and Jim Brolin, who's now married to Barbara Streisand, is that his famous son? It was his first part on the show. And he plays a truck driver or something. And the part I was playing at the time was an 80-year-old woman. It's a funny thing, girls, I have to tell you this. When you're young and sexy, you can't be sexy because it's too much. But when you're old and kind of lusty, see, I mean, I had all the makeup on, the whole thing, and something from the dentist up in my, so it looked like I didn't have teeth, you know. I mean, I could put my hand right up Jim Brolin's thigh. Oh, it was so wonderful. I really liked that quite the most because it was a challenge. Well, it's a challenge because it was easy for me to put the clothes on and look like a calendar girl, but to be old, that was a challenge.
We were reading that you have patents on certain types of pantyhose. Did all that time in the cat suit help to come up with the designs?
What do I have a patent on? Oh yes, pantyhose, right. They used to have one size fits all. You know who that fits, nobody. So they'd be sagging down, coming up. But I created this sort of a gathering in the seam in the back, and People magazine picked it up, did a full page on me, and it kind of gives you like a derriere, like that's called pomacious. Oh, you know, it's a French word, isn't it? A French word. You agree? A
yes.
Pomacious, yes. You're
Like,
well built. You're
Ah, bon. Thanks, Julie. I think they're wrapping up soon.
Okay.
So, like, in the 60s, there was all this, like, revolution and all that stuff. I mean, Catwoman wasn't a damsel in distress. She was, like, a powerful woman. Do you feel like you were really contributing to the whole new liberation of women?
That was a heady time. I remember I was politicking. Who was I politicking for? Who was the poet who ran for president?
Poet.
Well, in any case, you know, we were just getting into the bad days of Vietnam, and that was an excruciating period in the early 70s with Nixon and all that kind of thing. And I didn't work for two or 3 years during that period. I was excommunicated, kind of like Jane Fonda. Oh, I mean, the Vietnam War really blew us apart. I certainly noticed it between my parents and myself. I mean, for us young people, that was a horror. That was a terrible thing to do to us, just like it's a terrible thing to do to your future going into debt and having a war in Iraq that cost $1 trillion. I mean, look who has to pay for it. Not a good thing to do to the youth of this country. The wrong, very wrong thing to do. So I was pretty involved in politics.